Hi there! My name is Opal and welcome to A Sprout's Guide to Final Fantasy XIV. This series will focus on common questions new players have when starting 14 and where there is no question too simple. Today we're looking at how to get your first mount, the Grand Company Chocobo, and how to get the most out of your feathered companion. But first, a quick disclaimer. I'm going to be going over everything you can do with your Grand Company Chocobo in this video. A lot of this information is supplemental, and I will be making chapters for each section so you can skip to the parts you care about. Like most things in Final Fantasy XIV, your first mount is obtained via the main story quests, or MSQ. This is after your first 3 dungeons and your first mini-trial. You will probably be somewhere in your mid to late level 20s. After the trial, you'll be given a quest called Hero in the Making, where you'll be asked to choose a grand company from one of the 3 major city-states. After a quick trip around Eorzea, listen to each city leader sell their nation and bemoan the tragedies of war, you'll make your selection and join your grand company. Important note, the grand company you choose will not affect your game in any meaningful way. They were important to endgame gearing way back in A Realm Reborn, but now it's just aesthetics. Right after swearing yourself to a nation, you will be given a quest called My Little Chocobo. To complete this quest, you will need to purchase a Chocobo issuance card from your Grand Company's quartermaster for 200 seals. You will get 300 seals for handing in your current MSQ quest, so I recommend just handing in the quest in at the Waking Sands, then returning to your Grand Company to buy the issuance card. Once you have your issuance, head to your city's Chocobo Keep, give your new buddy a name, and you'll receive your whistle. Now to actually ride your mount, you'll have to use your Chocobo whistle from the bag, and once you are outside the major cities, you can ride your mount by going to the character menu and selecting Mount Guide. Remember that you can click and drag your mount to your hotbars if you want quick access. Now, there's more to the Chocobos in this game than just being a fast ride. They can also increase your inventory space and be trained to be a combat-ready companion in your travels. Once you get to level 30, you'll have access to a quest called My Feisty Chocobo. This will give you the ability to feed your Chocobo a Geishal Green and bring it to the field as a party member. You can buy more Geishal Greens from various vendors around the world. This quest will also unlock a feature called Chocobo Saddlebags, which will give you a large amount of new bag space to store things in. The only caveat being that you cannot access your saddlebags while inside an instance like a dungeon or raid. It can be opened at any time outside of instances by going to the option under character called Chocobo Saddlebags. Leveling up your Chocobo is super easy. Just make sure your friend is summoned and go do world content. Your companion will gain experience from killing monsters and it will eventually rank up. This will allow you to spend points on a talent tree found within the companion section in the character menu. You will eventually be able to fill the entire tree, but I recommend focusing on one role to begin with. You might notice that your Chocobo has the option to switch between different stances. These tell your Chocobo to focus on one particular role instead of being an all-rounder. For example, if you put your Chocobo in healer stance, it will only cast healing spells. It will never do damage in this stance. The reverse is true with the attacker stance. Free stance will allow your companion to decide what action it wants to take and is generally what I keep my Chocobo in most of the time. Another way to level your Chocobo is through training them at a stable. You gain access to stables by owning a house or apartment, being in a free company with a house, or having someone with a house share their estate with you. You will also have to do a quest called Bird in the Hand in the Central Shroud. Once you have access to a stable, you can deposit your bird there and select Tend to My Chocobo from the menu. From there, you can train them using various items such as a Kraka root. I will post a link to the other foods in the description below. You can only train a Chocobo once every hour in this manner. Additionally, on food rewards, they can also be used to increase certain stats of your Chocobo. For example, food like a Silcus Bud will increase the amount of damage your Chocobo does, while a Curial Root will increase the amount of experience your Chocobo receives. To apply these buffs, simply use one of the foods while your Chocobo is summoned and you'll see a buff appear on them. If you use the same type of food over many training sessions at the stable, that food will become your bird's favorite and will increase the potency of that food's buff. Finally, once your Chocobo has reached rank 10, you will need to feed it a Thavdarian onion in order to rank up further. You will need to do this for every level between 11 and 20, so 10 onions will be needed if you plan on reaching max rank. Now that all the mechanical stuff is out of the way, on to the true endgame, making your Chocobo look awesome. The most straightforward way is by decking them out in Bardings. These are 3-piece sets that do not affect your Chocobo stats, but can be mixed and matched to make your companion feel like more your own. Many of these are obtained through crafting with endgame boss loot, though some can be gotten through the gold saucer or rare drops from other forms of content. A less straightforward way of customizing your Chocobo is by changing its feather colors. This is done by feeding it various fruits via the stables. Chocobo food can either be bought off the market board or grown yourself via gardens. These fruits will raise and lower the RGB values of your Chocobo to decide what the final result will be. To keep things simple, I will be linking a Chocobo color calculator in the description. You can feed all the fruits to your birds in one sitting, and then you will need to leave your Chocobo in the stable for 6 hours. If you decide to use the calculator, be careful to follow their feeding order exactly, or you may end up with a different color than you were expecting. And that covers just about everything there is to know about your first mountain travel companion, the Chocobo. Have any questions or notice something I missed? Let me know in the comments. This is Opal from the Sprout Garden, and thanks for watching. See ya!